As we've been talking about sort of more and more over the last couple of weeks, presidential impeachment proceedings have to be started by a member of the House of Representatives. And on Wednesday, in the wake of Donald Trump's firing of FBI Director James Comey and the revelation that Trump asked Comey to stop investigating Michael Flynn, Democratic Representative Al Green from Texas became the first congressman to officially request Donald Trump's impeachment on the floor of the House of Representatives. Here he is doing it.
I rise today, Mr. Speaker, to call for the impeachment of the President of the United States of America for obstruction of justice. I do not do this for political purposes, Mr. Speaker.
No.
I do this because I believe in the great ideals that this country stands for: liberty and justice for all.
In response, Congressman Green's office started receiving racist, hateful, and threatening voicemails, including threats of lynching. Al Green happens to be African American. One caller said, "Hey, Al Green, we've got an impeachment for you. It's going to be yours. It's actually going to give you a short trial before we hang your N-word ass." Another voicemail left for Al Green. "You ain't gonna impeach nobody, you effing N-word. Try it and we'll lynch all of you effing N-words. You'll be hanging from a tree. I didn't see anybody calling for the impeachment of your N-word Obama when he was born in Kenya. He's not even an American. So F you, N-word." The caller there also happens to be wrong. There were endless numbers of people calling for Obama's impeachment, even though Obama didn't actually do anything that remotely warranted it. And there were more voicemails. These are not just acts of racial hatred. These are death threats to an American congressman. And I hope they're being taken seriously by the investigating authorities.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a group of people who will defend Donald Trump no matter what. And there's also a group of people who will make these racist remarks and make threats. And sometimes there's some overlap there. Luckily, Al Green isn't letting this get to him.
I hope not. I hope it is not. And it seems unlikely that these callers conspired together to make these calls. These are multiple people who said, "Oh, someone's calling for the impeachment of Trump. I'm going to call and say racist things to him because he's black." I don't even think it's because he represents a district in Texas. These calls could have come from anywhere in the United States. I'm really surprised, Pat, that this was the reaction of some Trump supporters to a black man calling for the impeachment of a right-wing hero president like Donald Trump. Obviously, I'm kidding around. That's the saddest thing, which is that who's surprised by this? Who is surprised, given how the entire primary and general election went with Trump supporters and rallies and the rise of the alt-right? This is exactly what I expected to happen when a black congressman called for Trump's impeachment.
He's the only congressman thus far who's calling for the impeachment of Donald Trump. So, of course, there's going to be some political backlash. It's another thing to hear this from constituents and maybe even people who aren't your constituents.
And after Al Green played these voicemail recordings at a town hall, he said, quote, "We are not going to be intimidated. We are not going to allow this to cause us to deviate from what we believe to be the right thing to do." Democrats and Republicans, conservatives and liberals, there are differences, right? When Republicans called for impeaching Obama for no reason, they were not getting race and identity-based violent threats on their voicemails in these numbers, period, even though, again, it was completely unwarranted. And race arguably played at least some part in their desire to see President Obama impeached. If you want to try to sort of work as a counterbalance, you can call Congressman Green's office to thank him for his service, if you want, at 202-225-7508. Today's episode of The David Pakman Show is made possible in part by Warby Parker eyeglasses. Warby Parker recently did the right thing and ditched advertising on right-wing conspiracy website Breitbart, pulling their ads off. And you can get the free 5-day home try-on from Warby Parker. Check out their glasses. I use them when I'm not wearing contact lenses. I started with the free at-home trial. They send you 5 pairs of glasses. You see which ones you like. You send them back, and whichever one you pick, they will put your prescription into. I like this because I can actually show the glasses to other people and not have to just decide on the spot like in an eyeglass store. The eyeglass industry is controlled by very few corporations that keep the prices very, very high, even over $300 for prescription glasses. With Warby Parker, they start at just $95. Mine costs that, including lenses. And for every pair sold, they give a pair to someone in need. So to try the 5 pairs and support the David Pakman Show, go to warbyparkertrial.com/TDPS.